What's up? What's up? What's up? It's D-Train here. Yeah, man. So, I don't know, man. Looks like we're doing it again, man. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. Kanye West. All right. 7 words to galvanize a nation. Man, it's like crazy. What'd he say? He said, he didn't even say it. He didn't even say it. He just typed it on a computer's keyboard. He just like, boom. I like the way Candace Owens thinks. Period. That's awesome, dude. That is awesome, man. This one dude can just like take over the airwaves. That's some like Donald Trump style type styles, you know, trolling right there. For real. I mean, think about it. Okay, so back in the day, he said he had some lyrics. I guess everybody had some lyrics that offended somebody, right? Check. Okay, I just had to make sure my because this happened before, man. I was talking for like a half hour almost, and it was like, gotta do it over, do over. No, man. So I remember back in the day, he probably said something, and people reflect. People reflect. They say, okay, where have I gotten most of my, I don't know, a lot of my issues. I can't say most. I don't know his, history like that. I'm just saying you gotta self-reflect, and I believe that's what he does, man. And he looks at what's going on. And I mean, me personally, I listen to Candace Owens. I listen to everybody, and she speaks fast. So, I don't know if I can listen that fast sometimes. I have a different style, I guess. I guess you might say I put a little sugar in my shit just to make that shit taste a little bit better. She goes no holds barred. And she's fast, she's quick, and that's great. And yeah, I was watching something. I think Sticks had a really good assessment of how she came about and some of the issues that came about when she came out originally a few months ago, with the whole website thing and the whole issue she had with another YouTuber, Tree of Logic. So if you want a rundown of that, I would probably go check that out, or you could go check out some of the Rubin report. They did something, it was him, her, and what's the transsexual lady dude's name? Ah, man, I feel bad because she's cool too. She's cool too, but sometimes people have issues and beef. So, I kind of remember some of the things that went along with her, and her style fits her perfectly. You know what I'm saying? That's her thing. Do it. I hate to compare people because people are different. You know, they come from different backgrounds. But Tommy Lauren, she comes to mind in that kind of bite type style, and you know, it gets ratings. Um, and hopefully, some people will hear her message and think about it. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Me personally, I feel like sometimes when you lay groundwork and you help people along, maybe it'll, you know, come to fruition over time. Uh, so, you know, different strokes for different folks. Uh, but then, uh, but then Kanye came out and he was like, "Yo, I like the way Candace Owen thinks." In a Twitter post, right? I saw the Twitter. I got it. You know, I made a copy of it, and I'm gonna frame it. This is what started the movement. No, actually, if you really wanna take it there, I mean, we can just go back a week before that, 2 weeks before that. Who said something first? I did a video. You remember? Come on now. Now you're starting to see some heat on her. That's right, Cardi B. First she said something about the taxes. Then she said something about her having her baby, right? I thought that was something in here, the click. I was like, who's clicking? Right? That's the music. So you know, people are starting I would call them fissures are starting to crack. Things are starting to materialize. People are seeing and you know, these souls, these people are hard to control. You show them something and it's like, wait a minute, that's bullshit. You know, I mean, and you know, the older you get, the better you get at disseminating your message. So, but at the same time, you know, the youth, man, Cardi B, I don't know how old she is. How old is she? I don't know. Anyway, she's young, I'm sure. And you know, she's young, she's fresh, and she's out. You know what I'm saying? And so that means, you know, she's raw, and she's gonna say it, at least right now. And I hope, you know, the same thing with my daughter, man. I mean, not saying that she's like Cardi B. I'm just saying, like, she has lots of gifts, but she also has this other thing that she likes, these other character traits that I'd like to see her use in a better way. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to teach that without trying to break the I mean not without trying to, it's like you don't want to break the spirit in that energy and change them at all. That's not the purpose. It's like you see this other thing that may be holding them back a little bit, and it's like, okay, look, how do you say that to somebody? You 40 something and they 20 something, right? How do you say that without them thinking that you're trying to control them? And I'm sure she already has people doing that already. Oh, can you imagine? Oh my gosh. More money, more problems, dude. Like, but then again, how do I know that she doesn't already know? She probably like just like Trump. Trump's like, but Trump's 70. You know what I'm saying? It's like Trump's been around for a minute. You know, it's like he gonna do what he gonna do, but he's seen the traps already. You know what I'm saying? And he he the president. You know, when you small potatoes, man, and yes, Cardi B is still small potatoes in this whole game. I mean, I know she's, hot. She's got everything, you know what I'm saying? But look, this thing is for real. Okay? You start talking about taxes. You start talking about conservative issues. You start talking about, no, I'm gonna have my baby. No, abortion wasn't even, in the thought for that long, except for when y'all bring it up. Right? Are you pushing me to do that? These are fishers. You got Kanye saying, and what were they talking about? They were talking about the victim mentality. Who out there who's hustling really believes they're a victim? And that's what they're talking about. And you can't it's a conflict in your brain. You know you doing stuff, but you a Democrat and you might need help. Right? Excuse me. Beer's at work. But at the same damn time, you know that you're not. I mean, are you a victim? And I mean, I know there's some people out there. Hey, don't get me wrong, dude. Yes, there are people working the system, but there's people out there working hard, man. And some things just don't add up when you break it down to saying, are you a victim or are you a victor? Which one are you trying to be right now? What do you want for you? How do you want people to see you? Okay, yeah, slavery was an issue. Hell, in some places right now, slavery is an issue. Is currently right now. So, in the scope of things, we're not doing bad here. And yes, we got some issues here, but we got a lot of opportunities. And yes, I do know that if you get pulled by the cops and get arrested, now they know your car, right? I'm just saying, if you're in the same area all the time and you got the same routes and you got the same things going on, it's not hard to pop you. You know what I'm saying? I feel you. I understand. I get it. But at the same time, man, we can't look at ourselves as being victims. I mean, a lot of times I look at myself, I'm like, wow, the things that's holding me back are self-inflicted things. I mean, they said, who said it? Was it the Colin Powell thing where he said, I look at the things on the left, the positives and the negatives. Oh my gosh, I do it. I mean, we all probably do it. Anybody that's striving to be or do something productive. You don't want to look at yourself as a victim. But I think what happens is we start thinking about other people we know, other people we love, whose situations we may not fully understand. I mean, what's really going on, you know? Because there can be a lot of tomfoolery going on. You just never know. But I'm not going to be naive and say that people don't need help also. But that can't be the first, raise taxes. Like I said before, anytime you're raising taxes, basically, here's how you translate it. You raise taxes, which means those are more laws, which means more laws which can and probably will be broken, which means more fines, fees, which means more money coming out of your pocket outside of the taxes that were inflicted upon you in the first place. So on top of the taxes that they just raised on you, rules come with those taxes. And if you don't follow those rules, now you got fines and fees and court costs on top of the taxes that they just put on you. That's basically the crux of the whole, conservative. Well, I don't know what conservatives think. Conservatives think. Drink time. Shoot. I don't know, but when I look at it, that's how my mind is able to process it. So if you have a more complex way or easier way of understanding raising taxes, I mean, you got examples all over the place, right? I mean, you break a law. Go ahead and break a law. Just break one and get caught, right? So you already paid your taxes, right? You're making enough money, you paid the taxes. So that's, you starting out in the red. Now, court cost is probably what, $200-300, and that's if you don't get a fine too, or if you don't get the fine thrown out. So now you got another what, 120, 200. I don't know. Depends on what you do. And public urination. Right? Look, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not saying Starbucks was wrong at all. At all. They, you're supposed to buy something. When you go somewhere, you're supposed to look. I feel bad going in somewhere and just, taking a slam or, using the bathroom, and I know I ain't buying no like gum or nothing. It's just what you do, man. Come on. But at the same time, they don't have enough places where people can go. If they just gotta, hey man, I just got pissed. You don't want to go in the alley, get those, alley smelling like piss. People shitting in the streets and where? Hell, name a city. Name a big city. It was in the news. It was just recently in the news. I mean, hell, y'all got all this money in these big cities where you want sanctuary and, have just a place for people, okay, well, put some shitters out there so people can have a place to shit. Excuse my language. And have some people to go down there. If you got enough money and you trying to really help them, I mean, it doesn't have to be an ugly outhouse. It could just be like a little spot, hey man, let me just go in here and most people just, probably drink too much coffee, in the morning. I gotta get on this bus now. The subway. I don't know what the subways are like, but I'm pretty sure they got bathrooms or something. I'm saying you're just walking down the street. You got to take a piss. But right now as it is, you got to go in somewhere and, hey, can I use your bath? Okay, well, let me buy like a $2 cup of coffee, and then now I got to piss some more, right? Because I'm gonna drink that coffee. But yeah, man, there's a lot of fissures happening. I don't even know how that became news anyway. How does that news? Some people got thrown out. That's crazy, man. How is that news? I mean, really and truly, how is a tweet news? I mean, I understand, I get it, but like, come on, is that news? Man, there's some big news going on right now, but I'm trying to stay on topic, but it's like, oh. And so then you wonder, okay, what's this album gonna be like that he's about to drop? I wonder, is it gonna be good? I'm pretty sure it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be probably gonna be bumping. I wonder if it's gonna have a new flavor. You know what I'm saying? Some new Kanye mixed in with some old school style Kanye. I'm pretty sure y'all probably know better than I would what's coming out on this album. But I don't know. What you think, man? Is it news and is it? I guess it is newsworthy that he would come out and just say that he supports, or he didn't even say he supports. He's just like he likes the way that thinks. So what does that mean? What does that mean? I like the way she thinks. Okay. All right. Was he speaking directly to the point where she was talking about victim versus victor? Does he know the full scope of her work, or not full scope of her work, but does he know more? Hey, what's up, Carlos? Hey, I'm sorry, dude. My thing just showed up. I just put the thing on, and I was like, all right, let's see who's in the chat room. What's going on, bro? Yeah, man. I'm just talking about some Kanye. You know anything about Kanye and when this whole thing? Got any insight on this whole thing? Yeah. So I'm just like, well, I mean, it's news. It's interesting. But the same thing with the Roseanne thing. I missed the Roseanne show. I was tired, man. I just went to bed. Then I got up. Then my wife got up. She's trying to, Then yeah. You missed the old Kanye? Yeah. You trying to get on the chat, dude? It's been a minute. 3:00 in the morning though. 3:30. I gotta take the kids into school in a few. What am I doing up at 3:00 in the morning? Yeah, man, the Roseanne show, man. So I watched one episode. I feel bad, man. I'm supposed to support the episodes and whatnot, but dude, I was tired. Let me see here. Let's see. How do I do this again? Yeah, invite people. Copy. All right. I'm gonna try to send it to the same email, okay? Yeah, so I watched one episode and I liked it. Now my wife, I think she remembers what happened with the like the old Roseanne, and I don't think she liked the old Roseanne show as like, I mean, I like the old Roseanne show too, but that's my style of comedy. She likes stuff like I mean, I'm not saying it's comedy, but it's like, okay, so she's Hungarian and she likes that royal shit. Like the what is this show that was on PBS for a while? She likes all of that. It's funny. She was even into like some Spanish like TV, like. So yes, I don't know, man. She's weird. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. She knows she's weird. I'm just kidding. No, no. I mean, people have different strokes. People like different stuff, man. All right, I'm gonna log in here. I hope I'm not screen sharing and giving up all my informations. All right, that's that. I'm almost getting it. Man, that's amazing how some people can just do all of this stuff like on a phone. I'm like, what? That's crazy. Like here we go. Yeah, there we go. Boom. All right, I just sent it. Yeah, so she likes all that other stuff. So I like Roseanne. So, but I liked the show last week. So I was watching the show last week, and that was cool. Um, and I meant to watch it tonight, but 7:30 came around. My eyes were starting to, yeah, Downton Abbey. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So my eyes started going down. My kids, my wife, they saw my eyes going down. They knew I was about to crash. My daughter was doing homework and whatnot. They were like, all right. When his eyes go down for about like 2, 3 minutes, we're clear. Cause me, man, when they doing the homework, I want them to do the homework. You know what I'm saying? My wife, she'll be like, okay, okay, honey, okay, sweetie, you can go. But I crashed at like the last time I saw the clock, it was 7:36, and I was fading. It was like when I went in under surgery. It's like when I went into surgery, man. I was done. All right, clear. Let's cut them open. But yeah, Roseanne is another one of those, man. Roseanne was awesome. I love Roseanne, and I follow her on Twitter. I said it before on another stream, and I know Ben Shapiro. He be talking. He don't like. He thinks she's you know probably a what do you call it? A closet liberal. I think she's a libertarian. To be honest with you, I feel like she's more libertarian. She's Jewish, and she loves Israel. She'll tell you. Um, so she is what she is, man, and I think she has I think she's wise enough and she's smart enough to be able to do it. I mean, look, she's got what's the young lady who's on the View also. I mean, they love her, and I think if they can you know have enough good messages to put out there for people to consume. Some stuff it may take about a week for you to get it for some people. What's up, Carlos? CEO John.
What's going on, man?
Hey, let me turn this music off. Not a whole lot, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah. So what you been up? You still kicking? What you doing up?
Yeah,
You there?
yeah, I'm still there.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. So yeah, what you doing up at 3 o'clock?
Man, just couldn't really sleep, man. I was supposed to. I'm supposed to get up early in the morning. I still am, but it's just can't sleep, man.
Yeah, mine's racing. I know. Got all this Kanye stuff out there. Who can sleep at a time like this?
Yeah, I mean, different people got different opinions about him and whatnot, and the person he favors and whatnot. Uh, I'm still just I still got to do a little more research on her. I mean, I checked out a couple of her posts and whatnot. She's interesting to say the least. Um, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if she's my style. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. You know,
Like
she did
when
switch. She went from one side to the other, and it's kind of like that's interesting.
oh, you mean like she used to be a liberal and now she's a conservative?
Right. So it's kind of like, okay, you're doing it for the business side. I mean, I respect business, even if you're a faker. I mean, you're a business person. So, okay, I understand. But I
Mhm.
mean, still, if you go past the veneer, y- you're not real.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I know she had some issues with Tree of Logic. Are you
hmm
familiar with Tree?
yeah, I'm a little bit. I'm not gonna say I know a lot, but I am somewhat familiar.
Right, right, right. That I'm the same way. I don't get to watch a lot of YouTuber stuff, but I pop in every once in a while to some things, and people, she's interesting. I like listening to her sometimes,
hmm
and she's got some things to say. But during that
Right.
period where they had that thing, I mean, what's the girl's name who she's a transsexual, like she's a dude that's a trans, and she went on the Rubin Report with Candace Owens, Red Pill Black. uh,
Mm.
I feel
Is
like
she from
her.
down south?
I think she might be.
Because there's somebody,
I mean, it's a
uh,
white dude,
there's
but
a white dude. It's a
it's a
white.
white woman. She looks like a woman.
Oh, okay, so it's a white trans.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that
Yeah,
person.
they were on the Rubin Report and they were going back and forth about, something that she had done before with the website, doxing
Mm,
people, something like that, or
okay.
possibly or maybe not. I don't know the whole issue, but they were having issues with her with that because
Mm,
she was kind of, I don't know. I don't even remember the whole story. It was like I was like, really? Come on, man. Some of this inner beef could, not like if like what's the purpose right now? But
right.
at the same time, if you have an issue and sometimes you gotta bring it up and see how they respond. How you respond to things sometimes says a lot too,
No,
right?
that's true. That's true. If you want to clear something out, and
Right.
just like if you had heard I had said something or did something, well, we're talking and we're pretty
Right.
cool. I mean, we don't really like know each other, but you'd be like, Carlos, I heard you on the O'Shea show and you said something, and I
Oh,
would be like, okay, well, let me clarify. I said this or I didn't say that. I mean,
right.
that would be pretty much
Yeah.
how it would
Yeah.
transpire.
Yeah. So hey, have I said anything? I just want to make
No, but
sure.
you
Because
you you're funny.
I see a
What?
lot of craziness, man. When I sometimes like in the chats, man, I,
Right.
it's just fun watching what people say in the chats and responding to it. And then sometimes I respond to things in the podcast, but I always add a little joke stuff to it. I mean, I try to keep it light. I mean, and sometimes what happens is that the humor doesn't come through when you typing it. You
I
know what
understand
I'm
what you're
saying?
saying. It's funny in your mind, and when you type
Right,
it,
right.
you're hoping somebody sees the humor in it, but sometimes it goes over somebody's head or it falls short. I don't know. I've done that plenty of times, and somebody will go, "Huh?" or
Yeah,
"What?" Well, I can say that when I'm texting a woman, and they're like, then it kills me when I have to explain the joke,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
they're like, "Oh," and I'm just like, "Oh man, that should have killed." And then I'll attempt the same joke with somebody else, and it wins, and I'm like, "See, she didn't appreciate it."
yeah.
So.
It's like if I got to explain the joke, it's like, oh damn, never mind.
Oh, that kills me.
Yeah,
I'm an amateur, a comedian in my mind, so I'm just like, I just know that was funny. But sometimes it's just not. If you try a joke 2 or 3 times with some 2, 3 different people, and nobody's cracking a smile, they look at you like you're crazy. the joke
Yeah.
might really just be lame,
You
go a
know,
different way.
I've watched different comedians, and I like watching the interviews when they talk about their process.
Hmm.
And I know some of them work on jokes for a long time.
Right.
Well, so for, somebody like me to think that, oh, okay, I'm gonna say it a few times and I'm gonna say it the same way in different places. These people are saying it over and over, different ways all the time, just
Hmm.
to see if they can add to their time. You know what I'm saying? It's their process,
Right.
it's their work. So sometimes, maybe you just need more time to work on it. But that's one of the reasons why I don't like email and social media that much, because I don't think my sense of humor kind of carries over in certain, I don't know,
Venues.
certain groups
Okay.
too.
No,
Sometimes different groups aren't, they don't have good sense of humors. So you have to really do it a certain way, have a different way or something. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out.
I kind of can understand what you're saying. I guess, and correct me if I'm wrong. I can imagine if somebody was a great radio personality, maybe they wouldn't be that good as a guest writer, or doing a blog, or maybe they wouldn't be as good on YouTube, because now you get to see them and hear them, and maybe it's a different, it's processed differently in my mind. So if that's how if I'm understanding it correctly.
Right, that's exactly it. Because I because like I'm used to being in front of people, and I'm
Hmm.
getting a response, you know, looking into their face and saying, "Oh, okay, so I just read an emotion or a
Right.
response to what I just said." You know what I'm saying? And it's hard sometimes to translate or see what's moving the needle. So you have to go off of different cues, like the chat room.
Hmm. No, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Or
It's
Twitter.
interesting. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Twitter. I'm still kind of. I mean, because I pretty much, you know, on my Facebook, I've built that up close to 5,000 followers, and now
Really?
I'm
That's
working on
good.
bit. Yeah, I've got it up to 5,000. I never in a million years would have thought, because it wasn't even something I really thought about. It was just like, your close friends, your family,
Mm.
and then associates, and
Right.
and you start getting in these different groups, or you meet people, and you're like, hey, you got a Facebook, and it's a good way of keeping up with people. And then all of a sudden, I was just kind of like, over the years, I started noticing it went from like 1,000, two to three, and then I think probably like a couple years ago when I started getting more on YouTube, and
Hmm.
I knew like years later I would want to go ahead and build my brand, and get on YouTube, and you know uh like I had discussed with you and Wake the Hell Up, become more of a brand and start doing what you and him start doing.
Right.
I knew that building my numbers up would help,
Right.
because hey, if you got about 5,000 followers, that's 5,000 people you could advertise to. Hey,
Right. Right.
why don't you go ahead and check me out? So I'm still working on building my numbers on Instagram,
Mm.
and I think I got about 5 or 10 people on Twitter. So I definitely need to start working on that. But and Snapchat as well. I have a couple of people on there, but I think each social media app, it has its pros and cons for what you're trying to do. For
Right.
business, Twitter is good. You're trying to show a snapshot of your life or what your business is doing. Snapchat is good, I believe. Instagram definitely, and Facebook. Everybody's on it.
Mm.
Grandmas, grandchildren, young kids. Okay, everybody's on Facebook.
Yeah.
They say it's dead. Nobody's really leaving Facebook. They
Yeah.
still have a Facebook profile.
Have you tried any of these other alternatives to YouTube? Like I don't even know all of.
Twitch.
Yeah, yeah, Twitch.
I've heard about Twitch. I was under the impression Twitch was more for people who are into video games and you could watch them. That's how I kind of heard about Twitch. But now I'm hearing a lot of YouTube personalities. talk about how YouTube is changing, and it's might be a better thing to go to Twitch. But then I'm hearing some people getting their Twitch account canceled over there. So I guess it depends where you at in the land or in the ocean of this social media of what you're trying to do. If
Right.
you're somebody who is, I don't know a lot about him, but from what I understand, he's somewhat controversial. I don't know if you know somebody named Alex Jones, and
Yeah.
somebody like him. Then for him, even though he's, from what I know, he's definitely on this, YT strong. Maybe
Hmm.
he would do better by having a format, um, more so on your own website, and then just use Patreon. Um, y- and somebody else who's not deemed controversial, like you're doing movie reviews or you're talking about
Hmm.
comic books or
Right.
fashion. Yeah, you're more comfortable being on every format because you're not really worried about being flagged. That's what we're talking about. Whatever you're
Yeah.
discussing, is it controversial? If you're talking about man versus woman, hey, that can be very controversial. If you're talking about race, if you're talking about politics, that could be deemed very controversial or inflammatory, depending on how you frame your language.
On
You want to
Twitch.
be, yeah, well, it might be a better thing to go to something else, or just like I say, just start your own website and do Patreon. Just go that way. If you're that controversial, or you're starting to get flagged. To me, if you're starting to get flagged, that's just going to hit. That's the writing on the wall. You need to
Mhm.
have an exit strategy. But I would imagine that if you are in that arena, you probably
Right.
would already know I won't be on YouTube too long. You see what I'm saying? Like you already know. You could look at everybody else. You know they're getting flagged, so it's like I'm next. I would
Yeah.
think like that if you're in that arena.
Yeah. I was thinking about because I was thinking about doing a bit shoot thing, but
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really looked into it. I heard about it. I heard it's a slightly different format, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still pretty cool. It's less of the what do you call flagging,
Right.
less of that type of stuff. So I was kind of looking at maybe doing something, starting something over there. At least have some somewhere else that
Okay.
also load through YouTube. I
Mm.
think. Um, but yeah, man, it's crazy. You see all these people getting flagged on Twitter, and then like the
Oh
Diamond
yeah.
Milk thing with
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, and then he went on in front of Congress, and I don't even know if anything ever came out of that.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm just looking. Oh, and did you hear about the Cardi B thing a couple weeks ago with
Uh,
what was it? Her pregnancy and her taxes.
I didn't hear about the tax. I mean, I know she's pregnant, and last thing I heard, somebody was just wondering if she gave Jay-Z permission to touch her baby bump. Other than that, that's the only thing I've heard. I mean, what did you hear?
Oh no, it was just I was listening to well first, in the conservative circles, I only heard it a couple times before it kind of went to a different topic.
Or was that what she was complaining about, paying taxes? She didn't think it was fair that you work
Yeah.
so hard and you make so much money, and then you get
Yeah.
taxed at this high rate and whatnot. And she was
Yeah.
like, "That's crazy." Oh yeah, and I think somebody who was a conservative, it was
Yeah.
two of them, it was two brothers. When I say brothers, two black men. And they were talking, and they were just like they thought it was kind of funny that it
Hodge
would be.
twins.
I think so, that they was just. I'm paraphrasing,
Right.
not as eloquent as they put it, but basically they were just saying it was just kind of interesting that this would be the person to bring it to light, and she actually had some good points, and it was just
Right.
basically kind of saying that, hey, okay, you have somebody, whether you think she's talented or not. I mean, I got her last album, so I mean,
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like she has this measure of talent again,
Mhm.
whether you like it or not. She's
Oh
making
yeah.
this money,
Yeah.
and now because she's in a new higher tax bracket, she's being you can call it penalized or paying doing her fair share as a citizen, and she's just like, good lord, I'm paying all this money,
Right.
and it's just like I I I think either one of us would feel the same way. You
Yeah.
could be a diehard, liberal or conservative, or I'm independent. But at the same time, when you work hard for your money, you like, I gotta
Yeah.
pay what?
You
You
see more
know,
money going out the damn door.
yeah.
Can
You
you
you you.
imagine making $1 million and then you got to give them 400,000?
Mm-hmm.
You make $1 million. Come
Yeah.
on, man. You gotta. Can you? Oh,
You almost gotta give half. Like, you just think about it. You just figured out some way between January and December to make $1 million, and then
oh.
when April comes of 2019, they come talk to you and be like, "D-Bonk, you had a good year in 2018, but
Hey, we
I
need
gotta
you
get
four
this
hundred
out you."
thousand.
Think about it. You busted your hide from your tail from January to December this year, made $1 million, and think about it. 400,000, you might as well say half. Think about it.
Yep.
You might as well say half. So that means you could say
40%.
half the year belongs to the US government. That's
Wow.
crazy. So now
Wow.
you that in your mind and in my mind, when I think about one day becoming a millionaire, I
Yeah.
always add a million. I always say 1,000,005. Like, I want to be 1,000,005 millionaire. I don't want to be a
Yeah.
millionaire. I want to be a 1.5 millionaire
I wanna
because I
be.
got to pay taxes.
Yeah. Uh. Yeah. So that, and then like a week after that,
Hmm.
she was on an interview and she was talking about how people were saying how they were trying to convince her to have an abortion because she was at the height of her game, and
Oh
it,
yeah.
and and it kind of harkened back in my mind to Lauren Hill, when Lauren
Oh
had was when she wrote that song Zion. Remember?
yeah. Oh, they'll remember that. But that's powerful. That's chilling.
Yeah,
Chilling.
man.
That was
I
beautiful.
was Yeah, man, that was a good song too, and it is still a good song. I still play it.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that album was it's beautiful and sad because
yeah,
it's like an asterisk in her lifetime, and we remember that because it was so monumental. The things she was saying, the jewels she was dropping to the young sisters, the young ladies, and just it was just good, feel good, you know, soul music, and it was just wonderful. And then after that, poof, she disappeared like my boy Chappelle. She was
yeah,
gone off the map because there was so much pressure on her, and it was an expectation, and then they wanted to kind of change her a little bit. To kind
right,
of, in other words, they want her before Beyonce was Beyonce. Lauren Hill was supposed to be what you see Beyonce now, but
dude.
that's not her. And that's my opinion, but that's not. If you look at,
She was in the movies. The nun, what was it?
oh yeah,
Sister
yeah,
Act.
Sister Act, yeah, what I'm saying, she was doing some things,
Oh Lord, we
yeah.
adore.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
She was a good little actress, nice looking sister and talented, man, and just
Check it
uh,
out. Look, if you go back and listen to her rap,
mm-hmm.
lyrically, she can sing, but she got talent, dude. She can rap too, dude.
Yeah,
I
that wasn't even her format. She was like on that Fuji. You remember me? Oh, that pretty girl
Yeah,
from the Fugees.
dude,
You remember?
dude,
Yeah, she could. She could
telling you,
drop them.
I would look if she said tomorrow I'm coming out with a rap album. That would be probably one of the that would I would go get it that day because I know. I mean, her talent rap wise, I think is up there with anybody's.
Oh yeah, I'd
Yeah,
have to agree. I'd get it just out of curiosity, like, okay, do you still have it? Because she had it before, so I agree. I
yeah.
definitely would go get it.
I mean, I'm just going off of like some of the stuff she was saying while she was rapping. You know what I'm saying? And I know
Right.
she's been through some stuff. But then she was I don't know. Did she ever get married to the Bob
So,
Marley's son? Or they?
I know they had a bunch of kids. I
Yeah.
think they got married, and then I think
So,
she got a divorce because I think he cheated on her, and then
uh,
she said that was karma because remember she had cheated with Wycliffe when he was married, so she said even though it hurt her, it was kind of like karma. Like she cheated with a married man on his wife, so now her husband cheated, on her with somebody else. It was like karma. Yeah, that's
oh,
I remember the story. Mm-hmm.
that's a bummer. But you know what? My cousin, I don't know, it was a few years ago. He said he worked with her, and she was still doing music.
Okay.
He's a producer. I think he moved down to Florida, but I feel like he probably moved back to New Jersey. But he's from that area, and he said, yeah, he worked with her, and he said that she has people call her Miss Hill. Uh, and hey man, I call her Miss Hill.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it'll be
Yeah,
Miss Hill. That's cool.
yeah,
Especially when you
but
talking about money. Yeah, okay, Miss Hill. What you need, Miss Hill?
but yeah, so now Kanye's in the news, and I'm just like, man, he just put out 7 words, man, and now it's like big. It's like it shook up the world. Like he's Muhammad Ali or something. And then Ebro, did you watch any of that interview? Not
I caught
interview.
a clip on YouTube just talking
Yeah.
about he was saying he had a 30-minute conversation or a long conversation with him and they was talking about I missed the fact that he had an opioid problem. He said he had an opioid problem and he was in rehab or something and nobody checked on him and Ebro called him out and said no, plenty of people was trying to get at you, through your people, because they couldn't get at him directly and he said a couple of other stuff. I kind of faintly remember that, but what
Yeah,
did you?
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It just seemed kind of interesting.
Mm,
It just seems kind
yeah,
of interesting that I don't know. I think I didn't like you said. I didn't know about the opioid problem either.
yeah, that kind of caught me because I usually, it's not like you remember the outs and the ins and outs of every celebrity and every person in the world. That's
Right.
not you personally or your family. I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
Exactly.
I don't
Exactly.
follow people that much, but it just surprised me that I missed that because I mean, hey, it's like I'm a Cleveland fan, so I know about Tristan Thompson. Not because I follow Tristan Thompson, but he plays for Cleveland,
Yeah.
and it comes up in TMZ on YouTube. So that's
Right.
how I
Right.
know, and he's messing with one of the Kardashians. So that's his example. But for me to have missed that opioid thing, I was just like, did I forget or did I just not know about it? And I'm just not recollecting that I heard about his opioid problem. I'm not surprised, you
So
know.
was so when was he like over it? Was
I,
it like when he went to visit Trump? Is that after he went to see Trump? Is that when he went and got
I'm
help?
guessing it was. I don't know if that was before or after, but because it seemed like when he went to see Trump, that was like early in the administration. I want to say because I remember Steve went go see him, Steve Harvey, and I
Yeah.
remember Kanye went go see him, and he had his hair blonde. I don't know if he had them little crazy looking eyes, them contact lenses in his eye. I forgot, but
Oh,
you remember he had them little spooky eyes, and
yeah. That.
but I want to say it had to be sometime after that.
Huh.
Like I say, but like I say, could have been that long ago, but I might have been like late last year or whatnot because I missed that.
Yeah.
Caught me off
Yeah, me
guard.
too. So I wonder if Trump kind of helped him out, and that's why he loves him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because
I don't know. That's a good question. But
I
then
mean,
then again, you remember he had a concert and he was getting sick or he was getting tired.
right.
Maybe that was around. I remember that. That I do
That
remember that. That might have been whenever he probably went to go get checked in because that might have been in. He might have been
no,
like Prince or somebody else on that stuff to keep him
right.
up. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Honestly, I don't know.
yeah, something just came out with that with the Prince thing. Really,
Mm-hmm.
with the anyway, but back to the Kanye thing. I think right after that concert, I think was when he went to see Trump, and after he went to see Trump, that's when he went to rehab. Because I thought at the time they made him go to rehab because they were saying he was crazy for going to see Trump. But no, no, seriously, but now in retrospect, I'm guessing that maybe, they spoke, I don't know, and then that's when he probably went to get some help of some sort. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah,
Uh so
anything's possible.
I vaguely remember that because I remember the concert and he started to. If I had voted, I probably would have voted for Trump. Then people were like, "Oh, he just went crazy. He's just like something's wrong with Kanye." Then I think it was right after that. That's when he went to see Homeboy.
Hmm.
So I don't know. This should be interesting, at least to say the least. Uh,
Definitely.
you know, he's got what new albums coming out.
Oh yeah, I definitely am. I'm always curious when he comes out. I mean, his last album, something Pablo, whatever. He had a couple of joints on there I really enjoyed.
The
And the
life.
one before that, yeah, and
Uh,
it was interesting.
I think he has a few acts under him, or some not acts, but artists.
Right. I think he still got Big Sean.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I remember before it was Kid Cudi, Big Sean,
Pusha T.
2 Chainz, Pusha T, and now I don't really hear too much about Pusha T. He might have
Really?
went independent. Yeah, I don't really. I
Uh,
mean, only person I really hear all the time that I know in the forefront, Big Sean and 2 Chainz. Kid Cudi he's independent. I'm always and always have been and always will be a Kid Cudi fan.
oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I'll always love Kid Cudi. His last album was all right. It was very experimental. I just liked him to kind of go back to. I hate to say it, go back to kind of the old Cudi, But as
Right,
some
right,
artists will argue, they grow and they change, and they can't always be that same person. But you kind of, even though I understand that you want to still stay in your same lane or whatever. Like Jay Z is not the same Jay Z from the first whatever Reasonable Doubt or whatever the first. But Jay Z is still
right.
Jay Z, if that makes sense. Like you're not too surprised when you hear 444. Like it was a good album.
Mhm.
You know, so
You know, you know what I was just thinking about that
what's
I,
that?
I was just thinking about, and I, I hate to bring it up because it's kind of like on my side of the thing of the coin is
Go ahead.
when artists and entertainers say things that you disagree with,
Mm-hmm.
then they should stay in their lane. But when when Kanye comes out and
Mm-hmm.
says, "I like the way Candace Owen thinks," it's like, yes, this is a movement.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm,
It's because you
I mean, I'm a
they say.
conservative.
Oh, well, and I know that. That's why I say and I'll let you know. I am still new to this
Well,
political, world and understanding thing because I'm a registered independent, so I don't hold no loyalty but to myself, and
I
you know.
correct. Okay, I'm sorry I have to cut you off. I correct myself.
Go
I'm in
ahead.
the I'm in that same boat. I'm new to this too. This is the first time I ever voted for a Republican, I think. As far as I can remember. I don't remember ever but I had to register either Republican or unaffiliated, but I was like, man, I don't even agree with a lot of them Republicans on some things either. But
Right.
so I said I'm unaffiliated, right? Because I
Okay.
kind of the way Ron Paul came
Mm-hmm.
explained a lot of stuff on like what really matters on a bigger scale, on a like constitutionally he kind of laid a foundation, and then, excuse me, and then from there, you kind of, okay, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm a little bit more on this side over here, but
Right.
I understand, you know. So I'm sorry, I apologize. So I
Oh
just
no,
want
no,
to.
no, no. I understand what you're saying. Like I would have, if on that side, I would have been more towards Ron, definitely more than Trump. And on the other side of the aisle, I definitely, even though you call them socialists, whatever, I would have felt more of the burn than Clinton. However, at the
Right,
very end, you have and some people might get whatever how they feel about it, but I
right,
call it the lesser of two evils because I really didn't like either one of the candidates, but I was just kind of like, okay, which way, what is the lesser of two evil? For me,
right, right.
I voted for Clinton, uh, and after that, I was like, well, okay, I got to see what he's about, and then of course, you have people who are for and against Trump. The way I look at it as the same way I did in any administration, I'm always about myself. I'm taking care of
Yeah.
myself. Because think about it, who can stop you from buying a house? Who can stop you from, starting a business? Who can stop you from getting education or getting a certification?
Right.
Who can help you starting your brand on YouTube? Nobody. Only person to stop you is you. Now, of course,
Right.
you could argue there's checks and balances. The government can sway certain things and it can make it more difficult or challenging. That's in any administration, really, whether it's Democrat or Republican. Sometimes, it's easier, sometimes it's more challenging. If you got it, you got it, Let's just be honest, If you got a good idea for a business or, you have your money or you get a school loan to go to school, why
Mhm.
don't you do your classes and pass your classes? You're gonna get that degree. You're gonna get that certification, you know?
Yeah.
So that's my way of thinking. But, depending on what your political, as they say, ideology is, I'm still kind of learning. Like I'm not big into politics, but since I have friends and I'm meeting people like yourself and Wake the Hell Up and oh shit that are into that,
Mhm.
it piques my curiosity. So now I have to raise my IQ. It's like, okay, I can't be just laissez faire about it, as I would say, because I have been most of my life. Like I really don't think about that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go back to it's kind of how I was with between Obama and Romney. It was just like
Right.
I didn't really. It was just like I knew I didn't really like Obama, and I knew I didn't really like Romney. So I think I
Hmm.
voted for Gary Johnson that year.
I
That was
remember Gary. Yeah.
Yeah, but then Gary went crazy. But then again, he ain't that crazy. I think he's invested in like a weed shop or something like that,
Right.
or
Right. Right. Right.
something along those lines. So he's still fighting for the cause. But back to what you were saying. You made the point about um upping your IQ. I'm gonna just tell you, man, it's hard because um especially right now, there's so much new information coming out right now. It's hard to even lay a foundation based on what happened in the past. You
Right.
know, there's a lot of little nitty gritties that go into why I kind of went more to the conservative side. Like you start
Hmm.
looking up these documents that people, or you start reading some of the stuff in some of these books, or it's just passages in book out of books. You'd be like, damn, they said that,
Right.
right? You start looking into some of these people, and then that's when it starts to get like, oh man, you know and then
Hmm.
you start going back and be like, well, what did Ross Perot really say? All I remember from back
Hmm.
then was you people, but that's what the media wanted you to hear.
Right.
You people, when he was talking to black people, they wanted you to not hear him say that if you guys do this, you're gonna hear a big sucking sound out of the US and all your business is gonna go to Mexico.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If all you heard is you people, you missed it.
Nah,
You know,
that's true. That
and
is
so
true.
So you
That would
go
put it
back.
more in context. And then you think about it now. What have a lot of businesses done? Haven't they went overseas?
Yeah, and I think that's part of the thing that, you know, a lot of these insiders, they don't want to mess with the system because they still looking at the Dow Jones, man. I'm looking at the Dow Jones every other day. It's like down 500. Is this the downfall? And then the other day it's like, oh, it's up 250.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember not too long ago when Barack Obama was in office, when it what didn't it hit 18,000 or something, and
Mm-hmm.
it's sitting at 24,000 right now.
Right.
So I'm just like, okay, it could be a bubble. I mean, I understand this, but I'm looking at some of the groundwork things that he's trying to do with the
Mm-hmm.
trade and bringing businesses back here.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that as a good thing. That's more substantial to me than putting things on the Dow Jones. But I guess it's a reflection of the mood of like the people who be doing that kind of stuff.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, it would definitely be nice to see, businesses that are ready. You think about it, a lot of business that was being sent overseas. I mean, never should have been. I mean, we used to have, big time auto industry and
Oh
all
yeah.
type of other type of stuff, and then at the same time, I mean, being a student or not, even if you wasn't, even if you're not a student, somewhere in your mind when I say you have to change with the times, you understand what that means. No matter what field you're in, it doesn't matter if you worked at the law mill or you worked in technology, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to have to change with the times because the way they was cutting wood and processing wood and safety measures back in 1980 is not the same in 2018, and the way you dealt with technology in 1980 it's not the same how you do in 2018. You didn't
Right.
have to worry about hacking and viruses and Trojan horses and backdoors and all type of other type of stuff in 1980. you know you
Yeah.
do now. So it's just the same thing. So I say all that to say this is just the same way with different industries.
Yeah.
1980. Hey, I don't know too much about coal, but I'm sure coal was doing pretty decent in 2018. I mean, we were looking talking about clean fuels, if I'm saying that correctly, and other type of technology. You
Hey, I'm
have
gonna
to
take
think
a
that
break.
way.
I'm gonna take a break for 1 minute. That beer is getting to me, man. I'm gonna
No,
go.
go handle your business. I'm gonna go
Oh,
grab me something to drink while you do your thing. I'm gonna get me something to drink.
sounds good. Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
I had to get a snack.
I made
Yeah.
some tea while you while you went on your break.
Oh, you made some tea.
Yeah, just heated up some water right quick and made
Oh
some tea.
man, I was going that long. You able to boil some water?
Well,
My
I
bad.
you no, that's fine. Did it the unhealthy way. I heated water in the microwave, but yeah, if I had more time, yeah, I wouldn't boil it on the stove.
Oh yeah. All right, so let me see here. I'm gonna try to open up a window. You heard about Scott Adams?
No, remind me about that. What happened?
Okay, Scott Adams is a guy. He um he did the comic strip Dilbert.
Yeah, I remember Dilbert.
Yeah. And he did a piece on Kanye and why what is it? Adams Kanye. There's a few different there's a few different guys who put it back out there or reposted it. I hope it works. Computer always starts acting crazy. Let me see here. Sorry.
Oh, no
I know
problem.
this isn't good YouTube, but I'm about to put do the screen share in a minute.
Okay.
Probably because it's slowing down so much.
Mhm. I haven't been on a live since about Easter. I was on a live with Rollo. Wake the
Oh
hell
yeah?
up. Yeah, he was talking with him, and then invited me on. It was me and him and I, JP and the New Orleans Saints,
Yeah.
and it was
I
like a
think I
other.
remember something like that.
It was a other. I think you might have passed it because it was a few women and a few men, and he was talking
Yeah.
about how are you basically how to handle yourself in the workplace, your views on dating in the workplace and things of that nature, and a couple of other things, and just we were talking between ourselves, and then he had to step off for a second, and then I moderated the panel for a little while, and then he came back and took back over, and it was fun. I enjoyed it, but that was like around the Easter holiday. I think you might have passed through that chat room.
Yeah, I
'Cause,
think
yeah,
I remember. I think I remember that. Yeah. That was pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah. It was.
Wow.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it and stuff. I was like, okay, cool. I like
Yeah,
I
it's
like to
fun.
talk. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a good experience. It was good, and I always enjoy when all three of us get together and just shoot the hay. It's like you don't even think
Yeah.
is somebody watching us. I mean, you might. I'm sure you can
Right,
watch us
right.
later, but you don't even think
Yeah.
about it. Just like three friends just talking, and we just enlightening each other and talking.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, get a
Okay,
screen
so
up for a
this is
second.
excuse me. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm eating.
Oh no, go ahead.
This is that video. What is it? Scott Adams tells you how Kanye West showed the way to the golden age.
Right.
I don't know if that's the best one. Anyway,
Yes.
he did a good breakdown on I guess the change of paradigm and how to deal with problems. I guess how different times are having to deal with different issues over time. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? He did a really good job of breaking down how I guess Kanye's kind of chipping away at that paradigm. Just actually, everybody that is in that arena that we've talked about already.
Mm-hmm.
Roseanne's, the Cardi B's, the um who else? Kanye, everybody who's kind of was like, man, something ain't right, you know. And he just gives a good example of how a breakdown. He just had a flow chart. Okay, this is what it is. And the way he delivered it, I guess, is just better for my understanding because he took his time and and he's talked slow enough for me to understand.
I'm gonna definitely check it out. It looks interesting, and I definitely can understand what you're saying. Like, sometimes we give more credit than we should to certain people who are in Hollywood or the music industry because we're a fan of their music or
Right.
their acting, and so when they say something, we just like, oh, that's deep. When really it's
Right.
not. It's just okay, it's interesting, or at the worst or the most, it's just weird. And so, okay, we just pass it off as that's just what musicians do, or
He's
that's just what
artistic.
actors do.
Mhm. It's
But
funny you
some
say that.
people, let's go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's funny you say that because Ben Shapiro, I think it was Ben Shapiro, he went on the Kanye West Twitter feed and started looking through his Twitter posts,
Hmm.
and he's saying that he's not, he doesn't seem like he might be the smartest guy based on his post, but I just thought they were just kind of funny little posts that it was just something that popped into his head, and you know what I'm saying? Not everything has to be, a monumental thought. It just might be a passing thought, and he's just, I think, like you said, we put too much emphasis on some of the words that some of these people say, but sometimes they just want to say stuff, um, and they probably just trying out material,
Kind of like
and
we was talking earlier.
and,
Remember
and
with
other
the
times,
joke.
yeah, 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 and other times, some of it can be pernicious, and I think that's the thing we kind of have to look out for. It's kind of like, okay, I'm trying to hurt some. I mean, it's
Hmm.
all free speech. I don't really get into it that much anyway. But if everybody's talking about it, then it's like, okay, what are they talking about? Why
Hmm.
is it in the news this damn much, or in the circles, in the social media this much?
Right. No, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. Like I say, they and again, we actually there are some people who, even though their trade is music or
Right,
acting, they're actually brilliant.
right.
These are some people who've went to Oxford for acting or whatever, Cambridge or some school for the arts in the United States, and they're actually educated. These are actually brilliant people. It just so happened on the side, their main bread and butter is being a musician or being an actor.
Right.
Think I remember, or some people are good, great investors or inventors. I remember during the BP oil spill, if you remember that in the South, Gulf South, Gulf Coast, and don't say maybe 2009.
Oh
When
yeah.
they had that spill, the explosion on the platform, and then I think they did a movie on it, and
Yep.
then they had all the oil and everything, and it was a big issue. I actually worked on that, and as a on the security side and whatnot,
Hmm.
and that was you to get to talk to people and things like that, and you learn stuff, and it was just interesting, and you find out like I'm just like wow, it's a big deal, what it's doing to the environment, things of that nature. A lot of money's going out to take care of it, which it should, but in the same time, it was like I'm trying to remember that actor. I'm trying to remember. He was in Waterworld. He was also was that the one I'm talking about? If you build it, they would. No, that's the thing that was with Robert Redford. But
Costner.
was that
It's not Kevin Costner.
Yeah, Kevin Costner, and he came up with a device or invention. I don't know if he invested in it or actually came up with it, so don't quote me. But he was associated with it, and he had a device that was able to basically you could extract the oil or the crude, whatever, from the water. You could separate it. And so, in other words, when you suck it in, you see all this. You remember the oil spills of the past, like
Oh
you're
yeah.
older. Well, what was that Well, Dallas, Valdez, or whatever?
Hmm.
Anyway, all those major ones, and it would just sit there, and they would just have issues, how to clean it up.
Hmm.
Well, whatever his device was, you could basically just hose it, put the hose in the ocean, and it would just be able to suck it. And so you thinking they're just going to contain it and then destroy it. No, they was actually separating the water from the oil and then shooting the water back into the into the ocean. And so you still, even though you're cleaning up, you're still getting your oil back. You see what I'm saying? So you still winning.
Wow.
And I was just like, wow, you know,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
that was associated with Kevin Costner. I was like, wow, did he come up with his invention or he bought into it or whatever? So, you have a lot of people who are smart and they create things or they're given opportunities that you and I are maybe not given to because I
Mm.
like you, I like your movies, I know you have money, so I like you and you have money. Hey, they got this invention or they got this company I'm starting up. Look at
Oh,
Nas.
networking.
Yeah, Nas invested was smart enough to invest his money into was it I it was something like a basically is associated with Amazon. They bought into it and it would make it easy. So if I wanted Amazon has to deliver a package to you. Since you have this device which can tell who's at your door and things of that nature, Amazon is all instead of just leaving the package at your door because sometimes people steal packages,
Yeah.
that device would recognize that you are an Amazon employee, give them access. They will put that package inside your front door and they'll close your door and lock it.
Wow.
So it's a device they bought, they a company they bought not too long ago, a couple of months ago, whatever. I forgot what it was, I something, whatever. I think it might have been the same one that was on Shark Tank.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
long
nothing
story
could go
short,
wrong with that.
yeah, right, right, yeah. If you get on Shark Tank, unless your
Yeah.
stuff is straight poo, straight garbage, which 9 times out of 10 it really shouldn't if you made it to a Shark Tank. But some
Yeah.
things are kind of weird, But most times, 8 times out of 10, if they on Shark Tank, even
Yeah.
if they don't buy it
Somebody.
because of their advertising, you're gonna win. So that's what happened to this guy. He just needed more money to kind of expand, and he got the funding, and it was like one of these angel, I think angel investors, whatever you call it. But Nas was invested into it. He had him and some of his buddies got into it on the ground floor, and sure enough, when Amazon bought it, he flipped a nice little profit. So
I
that
mean,
kind of
just
goes up.
being on that show, Shark Tank, is like a big advertisement.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Mhm.
definitely. Because you, like I said, launch your product not straight garbage.
Mhm.
Even if they don't buy into it, just the
Right.
advertising, like, hey,
Right.
Carlos and Debunk, new social media platform for media, social media commentary. We come up with a new platform and it's winning, even if none of them bought into it. It's
Mhm.
just the fact that, oh man, that's Debunk and Carlos.
Mhm.
Okay, let me see what they're talking about. Now all eyes are going to be on you, and somebody who has that money, or who's a Nas or somebody else will be like,
Mhm.
I can see an application for it that they're not even using.
Huh.
So that's how it goes. It's
You know
just
what? I saw something like that on the news or somewhere where they getting ready to have like something with maybe it was Amazon where they're gonna be able to like put a package in your car.
oh yeah, I kind of saw an article on that on Facebook. I thought that was even more interesting. Like you just going to deliver to your car? Like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I got to read that article.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess wherever your car is. Hey, my car is right over here, so just put it in there.
Yeah, because you think about it, your car is parked at work, and if you work in an 8 hour or more shift, because a lot of times my packages, I'm a Prime member, they'll
Mhm.
just be on my front, the front of my by my door, and where I'm at, um, because the previous person was a they call that a courtesy officer. It's only one access to my apartment.
Mm.
So because that was the way it was built. So basically, nobody really should come up here but me because I'm the only one right here. So, and for the most part, I've never, with the exception of one package, I've never had a package missing. But that's just because I'm up front. All the eyes are on it. But at the same time, you know, it's just one of those things. I've been very fortunate, but I would prefer something like that where, hey, bring my package while I'm at work and put it in my car. I would much prefer that. You know.
Yeah, I got something off eBay. It was like an iPhone 4S, and it
Mm-hmm.
came and it just was kind of quirky, right? So I was like, you know what, I'm sending it back. So I sent it back, and then the guy sent me an email. He was like, "Hey, send it to this email address. I mean, send it to this address right here." But I'd already sent it,
Oh,
right? Back to Chicago. So a month goes by, and then that package gets back to me. And I was like, dude, this thing just came back. And I just sent it straight out to him, to the email, to the address that he asked me to. But
mm-hmm.
still, that was kind of like, whoa, man, that's like a crazy turnaround right there. A month.
Yeah, that's a bit much. Should have been as soon as he direct. I mean, it's possible depending. You gotta. That's when you gotta start calling and emailing folks. But it's possible to redirect things as it's being traveled because, especially if you're going between like UPS or FedEx sites, it's on a path. So
Yeah, I
if it
heard that.
hits,
Yeah, somebody told me that, and then they said it costed money. So
yeah, now that is true. Now that's true. Like
I
if
was
you're
like,
just looking for the free, you're looking for the free. You got
yeah,
to catch it kind of early, or one part, either y'all split the cost, like, hey, I'll just send you something in your email account or your Apple Pay, or one party just altogether is going to be like, because, if it's an emergency or, the error is on your part or the other party's part, yeah, you can intervene and yes, it does cost a price. But for the free, you pretty much got to catch that like as soon as you send it off, you got to hurry up and go, you know, before it gets too far because yeah they're going to be like we'll intervene but for the for the price you know
yeah. Hey man, so what's your Instagram or your Facebook, and go ahead tell everybody what your information is. I'm gonna go ahead and
start wrapping it up.
let's just
Gotcha.
wrap it up a little bit and see if I can get a few minutes of sleep. Maybe kiss my wife on the cheek or something and head on in.
Gotcha, man. Well, on Facebook I'm Carlos CEO Jean Jean with a little asterisk over my uh for Instagram is Carlos dot CEO Jean. Uh, Snapchat, pretty much the same thing. Carlos CEO Jean, and the same thing for Twitter. So
Are
not
we
hard to find me.
connected on Snapchat?
Let me see.
Cause man, they got a lot of filters, man, and I be messing around with the filters. I don't ever send. I need to go ahead. I don't know what the stories is all about. I probably need to just put them in the stories because I got some funny ones on there. They are
Gotcha, gotcha.
they are
You
crazy.
you you want me to give you my Snapchat or you want me to take yours down because I'm on Snapchat right now.
Yeah, you can put it. Actually, you could probably put it in the chat, or no, or you could email me.
Yeah,
Email.
yeah. I just emailed it to you. Like I said, I ain't don't bother me now. But yeah, that's pretty much the same name throughout all my social media accounts, and same thing for YouTube, Carlos CEO Jean. So,
Okay.
And like I say, I keep saying I keep putting it off, but I do. Everybody been telling the same thing. I need to go ahead and actually just thinking about like what you doing. You just getting on and you're just talking and telling your thoughts and whatnot. And so
Yeah,
that's something I need to just go ahead and just start doing because, like I said, it doesn't. It's not gonna get any easier by not doing it. But that's just something. I guess I want it to be a perfect format, but nothing's really perfect. You just gotta
yeah.
keep doing it and keep doing it and networking and
You
eventually,
know
like I
what?
said, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, I was looking at different people's work. I kind of like. Have you ever heard of Chronicles of Judah?
Yeah, I kind of saw that through some other stuff because I was looking at I don't know. I guess when you watch one person, they
Yeah,
reference other people. So I was
yeah,
looking at. I forgot who I was looking at because I have a variety of things from
man. I be
Christian to conspiracy to liberal to
yeah,
conservative. I kind of watch everybody, so they'll
yeah.
recommend different things. But I saw Chronicles of Judah.
Man, I be going on Chronicles of Judah marathons, dude. He has good content. He talks about mainly sports and but like really the under under the radar types of stuff going on in the sport
Hmm.
entertainment thing. And man, I just like listening to him and she puts out some good stuff where she'll like talk about a article for like 3 or 4 minutes or 10, 15. you know I'd like to really and truly, I'd like to keep it shorter.
Hmm.
But I like doing this too where we can talk about an issue or a variety of people within an issue, like we just did. Um, too, I like doing that too. But just popping in sometimes, that's good. If you Do you know how to screen share on your? You can screen share, right? Because I think that's what Ann does, and she just talks for a few minutes, and she just has a picture up, and then she'll talk about it for a few minutes, and that's it,
Hmm.
man. I mean, you can start there, and
Yeah, I think
I'm
that's
in
good.
fact, I think I like to really do that style too. I got so many different things I want to try, and I haven't tried many of them. That it's just it's still fresh. It's still new.
Yeah, I think that's what I need to do. I just need to go ahead and just start it and start doing it. And I think also, I don't want to say it's a crutch, but I think it'll also make me more comfortable and utilize other things. Like I feel comfortable moderating and interjecting, kind of like when I was, I had the pleasure of doing that with Rallo
Yeah.
briefly. It's good and it's almost like this. It's just like you have your
Mhm.
beliefs and your stuff, but it's basically we're talking, but we're also sharing information and learning from each other, and it
Right.
makes the conversation and the show go. So it's like that's something I'll be like, well, hey, if you're up at this time, let's get together and just talk, and I can kind of tell you a little bit about what I'm gonna be talking about, so you have a chance to kind of check it out, or Google it and see what I'm talking about, and then whenever we get together, like what did you think about this article, or did you like when you were saying some things, probably like 8 times out of 10, I knew exactly what you were saying, but a couple of things went over my head, like I didn't hear about that article, I don't know. Uh, so
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Everybody
that's
has something different that they can interject and then kind of add to it. You know.
yeah,
So yeah,
yep,
let me see. My Instagram is Dontrez Howard. I need to do stuff on there more. I haven't done anything on there in so
yeah. I think
long.
we're Instagram friends.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I need to put something over there. I need to learn how to do a video over there, maybe too. Um,
yeah, that's true.
Snapchat. It's D Train's Corner. I be doing all kinds of like little filters and funny stuff. My daughters, they be on there too. Let's see. Twitter. It's like D Train's Bunk. No apostrophe or anything. Just one word, D Train's Bunk, or at D Train's Bunk.
I,
And
ju- I just added you on Snap.
oh, cool, cool. And yeah. So that's my socials, man. Thank you for popping in and adding some commentary and adding to the whole conversation. And
Oh, anytime. Thank you for adding me, bro. Thank you for inviting me, man. Like I said.
absolutely, absolutely. Anyway, this is D Train's Bunk hanging out with Carlos, CEO John, and so therefore, on the other hand, nevertheless, word, peace.
Peace.